Hi and welcome to another episode of Talk TV. I'm Louise, and as you probably noticed, it's something a little bit different tonight. That's right, Richard Crowell, my normal co-host, isn't here this weekend. He's up at Surfers Paradise enjoying the sun, lucky him, so you're stuck with me. However, it's going to be a massive show, so bear with me. On tonight's show, we're going to cross a hill climb this weekend. Well, last weekend we went out there, it was a massive weekend. It was splendid. We've also got a Speedway guest, Brett Chadwick, coming in. Fantastic. About to talk a bit. Well, tonight's first guest is Brett Chadwick, that's right. Welcome to the show, Brett.
Thanks, Louise.
Now, you actually currently run in the AMCA Nationals, which is a speedway category. Tell us a bit about this AMCA Nationals. What is it?
It's basically a tube frame chassis. It was actually derived from a HQ Holden. It's got half a body on it pretty much. It's not actually a full looking car as such. It's got to have open wheels. It's a cross between a sedan and an open wheeled car. It was derived in Victoria 6 years ago. They're very strict on the rules. They're basically a 253 cubic inch V8 motor. Every car runs a Holden V8. Every car runs the same type of diff, the same tyres, the same wheels, the same everything. So it's all pretty much the same.
Now, it is a speedway category. Obviously, you must have had a bit of experience into speedway, considering you're doing quite well at the moment in the AMCA Nationals, or are coming up in the future. How did you get into speedway in particular? I heard you've been over in America doing a bit of racing previously.
Yeah, that was a few years ago now. Basically, I started originally. My father raced speed cars, midgets. Grew up with speedway all my life. Most of my friends, obviously, that I grew up with, were all involved with speedway. So yeah, I went over to the States. I spent 8 months in America racing back in '92. When I came back, we built a race car for him to drive. And then obviously when AMCA started, which like I said was about 6 years ago, we decided to start the AMCAs off in South Australia.
Now, as you're speaking before about, you said that it was restricted, so to speak, the category. How is restricted is AMCA, and how does it differ from every other kind of speedway categories? I'm a bit, like AMCA is something completely different.
It's completely different in a lot of areas, basically because it's not actually a car as such to start off with. Like I said, it uses a HQ front chassis clip. Yep. Other than that, the rest of the cars either handmade. There's a few people in Australia. There's actually about 8 different chassis manufacturers in Australia. Restriction-wise, we've got now a new rule come out this year. We've actually all got to run a restrictor plate to try and slow the engines down. The engines themselves are pretty much supposedly a stock standard 253 Holden V8, which, like every class of motor racing, I guess, the rulebook says it's standard, but it's not really that standard after all.
Now, where is AMCA held? I mean, it's a different event, as I said. I keep saying it's a different event compared to most speedway events. Whereabouts is it held? Is it a national event?
It's a national class. Like I said, it's starting in Victoria. It's nationwide. The Australian title this year is actually being held in Tasmania. Every state has a state title. In South Australia here, our primary track, or our home track, is Speedway City, which Wendy Turner, who owns Speedway City, started the class off with us and helped nurture the class to get it up and running. Since then, we now run all the different tracks in South Australia.
Now, how competitive and how popular is AMCA? What are the fields like? In field size, is it big? Is it popular?
Size,
or?
Yeah, we started off with 4 cars 5 years ago. Sorry, we've got 34 registered cars at the moment, and basically on a normal race night we'll get 30 cars to the track.
Now, I understand you're at the moment in a bit of a development, getting a 2-car team together. Tell us a bit about that.
I've got my old car which I raced last year. We designed and built a new chassis for this upcoming season. So my business partner is going to drive my old car, and we're putting a brand new car together for myself to drive. We've also bought another bus. We've got a 40-foot bus which the race car goes in the back of. We've bought another smaller bus to tow the second race car so we can take the whole team away with us when we go away racing.
Now, I understand that your brother is quite competitive in it as well, and also competes in AMCA. He actually won on the weekend, I believe. So
yeah.
Tell us a bit about the event that just went past.
Murray Bridge, the first race meeting for the season. Obviously this time of year, very early for Speedway, so a lot of cars aren't ready. A lot of people are still sitting in their sheds looking at them, trying to get some enthusiasm to put them together. We had 17 cars turn up to the track, and they were all very, very well presented, and sort of were the class on the night as far as numbers and their presentation. My brother Brian, he won both of his heats and the feature. So he was pretty happy with himself, which doesn't happen very often in this class because it's so competitive.
Now, how many rounds are in the AMCA series?
It's not actually a series as such. We run, well, it is overall, we run a state series as such. We run a country series and a city series. The country series is all the country tracks. Last year, I think it totaled up at about 20 rounds in total of all the different race meetings we ran.
Wow, that's very big actually. It's amazing. Now, I was saying before how popular, how expensive finally is it to get into AMCA, and how can people find out about more information and getting involved in this new category?
Cars start second hand from around the $10,000 mark. I know people have built cars from $6,000 up to probably $25,000. Usually get in touch with your local speedway. They should be able to get you in touch with a representative of AMCA, or give you a phone number to contact someone in AMCA, which you can then get a rule book. There's plenty of websites available on the internet now, including my own, which if you look on there, it's got links to different sites which will actually give you some of the details on the rules and specifications and where we race.
Oh, well, thank you very much for that. Good luck for the rest of the season, and we'll be looking out for you on the track.
No worries, thanks Liz.
Well, that was it from Brett Chadwick from AMCA Speedway. Look out for that. It's a different series coming in, and I know it's not one that I'm very familiar with, but it sounds very interesting. Well, stay tuned because there... Well, as I said, it's been a big weekend, and I don't think I've actually relaxed yet. I'm so tense. It's been such a scary episode. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you could understand what I said. I didn't bore you too much. So tune in next week because Richard will be back, and I'm sure he'll have a lovely suntan and some fantastic news for us all. So thank you once again for joining us, and look forward to seeing you next week. See you later.